Hi, this is jessicaamaladawn, and I am back with a weekly energy reading for the divine masculine energies for the week of October 18th to the 24th. I apologize in advance that my throat is a little bit off. I'm just going through yet another level of clearing of some very kind of deep programming of imprints of guilt, we'll just say, and societal programming around guilt, especially around feminine guilt. So if I sound a little off, I apologize. So there's lots to say today. Wow, took me a while to kind of get my head around all of these energies. But really there's a lot of very exciting positive information and energies coming through, along with some things to be aware of and challenges this week that could kind of get in the way or defeat like all of the goodness that's coming through this week. So let's get into the cards. So to start, for overall, energies of where the masculine is at, we've got here star children, and there's a lot around this card. This is from the Lemurian Starchild Oracle, which I will post some details about in the comments below. But here we've got no veils, psychic development, and cosmic inspiration and light. And this card is really all about releasing. It's all about releasing from that need to kind of satisfy the old paradigm and come into a greater level of appreciation and awakening as a starseed, as a child of the stars, and fully, opening the psychic abilities to come into that understanding as a starseed and having those connections to your star family. And this is something that is, been achieved from a lot of hard work, like getting to this point of being able to feel confident enough to have this opening and to feel okay with honoring that connection to the stars has come on the heels of a lot of hard work and a lot of self-acceptance about being a little bit or feeling different than the people around. And I think that in some cases, some masculine might still be struggling with some of the losses of some people in their life, in their community, that were not resonating with their rising truth as a star seed, as a star child. And that in some cases could be blocking this opening of this connection and opening of the psychic development. But on the whole, it is an open and available energy right now to connect with that, and to connect with that with others, with it. We've got this boy and this girl in the flower on this card, and I really felt that flower open in my heart when I was meditating before I got on the call. And it's really something that is blossoming in the masculine, the divine masculine in all of us, man or woman. This energy of this lotus blossoming, this flower blossoming in the heart, that's allowing us to release the guilt of letting go of the old paradigm about accepting a level of not fitting in or not wanting to fit into the box of the old paradigm anymore, of societal expectations of how you need to be or act in order to survive. And there's this beautiful golden heart is really this radiance of that golden healing light of the divine. It's really of the divine feminine and the divine masculine Christ light being shone into the world from the galactic center, from Sirius, from source, that's wanting this rebirth of this valuing of star seeds and of this new truth of growing and being in alignment with our divine authentic truth as a multidimensional being of light connected to the stars. It really wants to come through now. It's really supported by the higher realms. And, to reiterate that, what we have coming through with Star Children is we've got here wishes fulfilled, 5 of keys. So I really see this wishes fulfilled as being this light of source, this love of source being really reached and felt now. That really opening in the heart, being available. And through that opening of that flower in the heart and living from that place, our true wishes, to be living in alignment with our authentic destiny is arriving. And again, to clarify further what we've got with that is we've got the 3 of Pentacles and justice. So all of this hard work is leading towards this justice for truth, this justice for starseeds is arriving. And I think that this is, having all of these cards coming up together here, the justice, the 3 of Pentacles, and wishes fulfilled, to clarify Star Children really is very, very positive sign for not only for the divine masculine kind of coming into his own acceptance about the process of awakening into their truth and into their realization of themselves as a starseed, as a multidimensional being, but also that the greater justice that's occurring for starseeds at this time, and for all of the light work that they have been doing to hold light on the planet. And there's karmic rewards that are arriving at this time for all of this work. It's really beautiful energy. So the other main overall energy that we've got right now for the divine masculine is dolphin. I just love this card, dolphins. And it says, play. It's okay to relax, smile again, and share your flow. And this card is really all about really connecting with really allowing that natural flow once we've released societal expectations and rigid ideas and programs about how we're supposed to be, to connecting to our natural growth, which naturally leads us to connecting with the light of the dolphins, because we can connect to them telepathically from wherever we are when we start to open up to our multidimensionality. And through connecting to these dolphins and their, through our telepathic abilities, we're also connecting to their orbs and vortices of light and their own connection from those vortices to the higher dimensional realms and the dolphin realms of Lemuria and of Sirius, to really, they're kind of like these interceptors of these higher energies, and bringing, helping to bring that beautiful rainbow light into the planet, this beautiful goddess energy that wants to come in so much at this time. And what we've got, and it's very playful, right? Dolphins, they also connect us with that divine innocence, that right to play, which I think for the masculine has felt so, for the divine masculine, that's been, in many cases, has felt so foreign for so long because of this intense drive in the old paradigm for the masculine to have to compete, to very, very rigidly compete. And so this is like this huge opportunity for a shift into a very reinvigorating, refreshing way of being for the masculine. And what we've got alongside to clarify this energy is we've got here the 4 forces in reverse. So this is autumn, the autumn card, with Ace of Wands, And then we've also got the Queen of Cups. And we've got the Six of Cups. So what we really have here is that, I think there is some sort of a new connection of some sorts, a new connection, could be a new passionate relationship that's coming in at this time, this autumn season, at this time of harvest. And I feel like this Queen of Cups is this person, this feminine person that this relationship, this new passion is regarding. And there's something very, there's something very childlike and nostalgic and innocent, divinely innocent about the connection. It's very pure. And, it's definitely feels a lot like the energy of the purity of love that you experience when you meet a twin flame or a very, very ascensionary soulmate counterpart, where it's a very, very high level connection that is beyond it's beyond all of those limitations of the old paradigm about how we are told we are meant to love, and it really is based in such a pure, innocent truth. And so when we have the Dolphin card with the Six of Cups, it reeks of a very, very powerful week, and with the overall energy of star children, right? The whole energy of the week for the masculine really, really speaks of a need to really step into that childlike energy, to have the greatest success with the energies this week, and to really step into the purity and the play and these vortices of light, these chalices of light, and to share and offer them is going to bring great bounty. And so around these energies, there's I guess we'll just say some things to be aware of and some kind of warnings. So right now, the masculine is sort of needing to, like the feminine has needed to as well, because we got this in the overall reading for the feminine last week. We've got here the Flames of Surrender card, number 12, which adds up to a 3. So again, we've got the 3 here, the 3 of Pentacles. And, it's again, we've got the 6 here. So the 3 and the 6. So they're kind of playing off of each other, these numbers. So what we've got is this need to kind of surrender into the flow, right? And then just enjoy. Like, again, it's okay. It's okay to relax, to just share your flow. And this is something that I think has been really, really difficult for the masculine to do, to kind of surrender into the flow. And we'll get into this in some of the other cards, but there's this tendency to kind of go back and forth between over kind of pushing and then just being totally still, and creating this sort of stuck, stagnant energy, because things aren't really flowing, because there's been a lot of forced action into areas that maybe weren't necessarily totally in alignment, which created like some burnout, and then there needed to be like a stop, like a total stop, to recuperate from putting so much energy into something that wasn't fully in alignment. And so this is about stepping into that play and that innocence to allow things to flow and to really appreciate, come into a sense of just release of all of that mental anxiety about how things ought to be and guilt about how things ought to be, to just allow for things to unfold beautifully and artfully as they're meant to. And so we've got with that, again, I think we've got here the 5 of Pentacles in reverse with the Muse card, which is again 15, adds up to the 6 again. We've got the 6 again. The 7 of Pentacles, Indian reverse, and again, yeah, 63, so that adds up to the 9. So we've got the 3, 6, 9 energy there. And then we've got Odin Psychic Insights, which came up in reverse, which I think is significant. And what I see with all of that is that, like something about some sort of past situation of like feeling like left out in the cold or not really being accepted, feeling rejected, feeling abandoned, has created this sense of like hesitation and like not knowing, not really knowing which way to go. We've got here, the 7 of Cups and Indian reverse. There's a lot of wishy-washy, a lot of not knowing which way to go. And there might be rightful reasons for that, because I think that the clarity of psychic insight hasn't fully come through. And that's why there's all these different things popping up, in the physical, but like the third eye hasn't really been fully realized to understand what is the right way to go. So, part of the job this week for the masculine is to kind of realize that by going in and allowing for whatever is feeling more, I think, more playful and more aligned with this sort of divine innocence is really going to help to kind of start to discern between, all of these difficult, energies. So with the Muse, I think it speaks again to this whole idea of this like artful surrender into the flow. I mean, it might be a really good time for the masculine energy to be sharing something poetic. We've got here, she's playing an instrument with her mouth. She's communicating with her voice. And again, we've got these leaves falling. So it speaks again of this whole idea of autumn. And this like sort of, it's like the harvest, right? This harvest is falling, and it's time to really share and kind of like drop into that innocence that will allow for the sharing to occur. Those creative insights, that creative expression. And so, in order to really do this, though, there's some things that need to kind of happen. So, like, again, just to reiterate, we've also got here the Communicating Freely card. I communicate from the depths of my being. So again, we've got a double message about the importance of that. But with the communication card, what we have underneath associated with those energies is we have hostilities, and we've got first chakra Archangel Michael in reverse. So there's this like, there's still these, we'll just say these like fears of rejection, fears of hostilities, fears of getting a bad reaction, fears of like feeling unsafe. That's basically creating a stagnant energy, a block that's keeping things from fully flowing. And this underlying is really, it's our underlying kind of subconscious energy that's connected to the ego, that's connected to self-sabotage, that's connected to protecting one's ego and oneself, that is kind of at this point creating some very unhealthy blocks that could lead to major stagnancy and even potentially like emotional sickness if it's left unaddressed. So, and what we have with that, which I find really interesting and amazing, is that, yes, there's a reason, there's past reasons we know why there's these fears of hostility. There's been rejection and loss in the past, abandonment in the past, that's left kind of this like wild situation, this brambleweed situation. But there's really a great need. Again, we've got the 6, right, which is a number of love. So bring us back to this. There's this need to really appreciate that flower that you do have, and that flower that you do have to offer to the feminine, counterpart, and the feminine in you. And I feel like, being really grateful for that, for what you do have, for the flower again, right? Like the 2 of them are sitting here inside the flower. And then here we've got the child offering the flower. And then here now the feminine is holding the flower. And so there's a lot to be grateful for, again, because we know that there's wishes fulfilled associated with this flowering, with this offering of this flower and the sharing of this flower with the feminine this week in this energy. And so by focusing on the gratitude for that and realizing, that this is truly the underlying energy, it's going to help to like move through, I think, some of like these fears. Well, we have again with this, like the last cloak, right? This last cloak of ego and the old identity of who you kind of thought that you were based on like old expectations from the old paradigm, to really kind of communicate freely and share something very authentic from the heart that's really going to touch the feminine. And I love that there's this is full of flowers too, because what you're sharing is this beautiful flower. It's really beautiful. And so, we've got also here that there is this energy of, like the masculine is kind of coming out of like a time, I think, of feeling disempowered, and is still maybe feeling kind of disempowered, because we've got here the solar plexus card combined with the architect, 1 of keys in reverse. So this kind of feels like some sort of disempowerment, probably around something kind of career related, more likely, but it could be love as well, where plans have changed. And we've also, in combination with that energy, we've got the Tower in reverse, right? So something has really kind of fallen apart that's made things feel disempowered. And again, we also have the Lovers in reverse, which again leads me to think that, it could be both. It could be love and career that's kind of like really not turned out the way one thought it would. But what all that's done is it's really opening up. We've got here Sanat Kumara light activation and the star. And it says, shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So there's been like through this, yes, some things have had to fall away. Even the cards are falling away, right? Like that's how much this old situation has fallen away. And because there's all this light that wants to shine through, and it is shining through. And like it's something, again, with the water making the earth fertile, again, it brings me back to connecting with this water energy, this dolphin energy, connecting with the oceans, where you can connect with that enlightenment. This is the star of Sirius, right? And the dolphins also connect us to the rainbow light and to the light and the realms of the dolphins on Sirius. So there's this huge light activation from Sirius. It's available at this time. And all of this stuff had to fall away, or is falling away, so that you can fully receive it. And that's part of, you know, what you have to share, is part of this this wish is fulfilled and this justice. It's something you've been, you know, working hard at in growing. But it's also meant that some things have had to fall away in the process. And there's just a need to kind of fully surrender to the awareness of that. So, you know, getting back to like this Architect card in reverse, you know, what is this looking at? What is this pointing towards? You know, what's changed? What's changing? And we've got here the Journey, 7 of Roses, combined with the 2 of Pentacles, combined with the Friends, and the Feline in reverse. So what we really have here is that, I mean, for starters, it's a new beginning. Like this is either some sort of a journey or a move or a relocation or a new career. My sense that a lot of masculine, again, with this whole, what I feel is with this Tower reverse combined with the Lovers reverse, like some sort of, in most cases, a relationship has ended that's requiring some sort of a move. And it's leading towards, though, like something really beautiful. Because I see, like, with the rest of these cards, I see this, like, amazing new partnership. And it, you know, it comes back to this thing about this success with this Queen of Wands. And so, because the 2 of Pentacles and the Friends, you could see they're both balancing. They're managing to balance things by working together. They're kind of being able to juggle a lot and to be able to be more successful and more accomplished by working together. And I think that that's like very much, I feel like that's very positive, that like this clearing away of the old is making way for these new kind of relationships and friendships to come in that make sense, that really help to bring out the best in another, and in order to achieve more. But what's also really great is with the Feline reverse, what this new journey and this potentially new location and career is really all about, is really not to do with, I think, the old expectations and the old guilt. It's really more, the Feline's really kind of suggesting that this is more in alignment, that this is not based in guilt, that this is something that like is really more based in that infinite love, right? And that infinite flow of the universe. And, you know, we're sort of defying gravity, right? Because we've got here, like, we are kind of defying gravity here in this new connection, because it's really freed from the chains of the past, right? And it's really being uplifted by all of this enlightenment. So I think that like it's really positive. It's really moving towards something very positive. But there is a need also to, you know, one of the beautiful messages of the Friends is that sometimes there are friends in need that don't necessarily know how to ask for help because of too much pride and being afraid of being rejected. And so I just wanted to mention that because it brings me back to this whole fear of rejection that we've got going on over here with the hostilities card and the first chakra card. So it's really important for the masculine to be aware of that, and that how, you know, and for the feminine, for any feminine that are watching this, to just be really aware of that energy, because it could be very self-sabotaging at this time for either masculine or feminine energies to kind of be, we'll just say, insensitive to it. And there's a lot more to be gained by being, by stepping into that infinite flow, and into the light. So there's a few more cards here that we're going to work through. And I think this is really beautiful because some of the cards I was like a little bit a little bit unsure before getting on, and then I did a little meditation and I was like, oh, this makes more sense. So we've got here Hilarion, divine healing, combined with the moon card, combined with the hermit in reverse, and the Four of Pentacles. Sorry, Four of Wands. Sorry, I am sick. So we've got here, it says, honor your sensitivity, recharge, and heal, and your light can support others. And it specifically says retreat to recharge and heal. So it's really interesting because I feel like it was like some of this seemed really contradictory to a lot of the other messages for the masculine to kind of move forward. And yet so, you know, even here it's kind of saying it's not the time to retreat. It's almost like you're hiding, right? You're hiding at this point because of a sense of confusion, and perhaps because of being in the midst of some sort of a potential move. But I think what I got from the meditation that I did was that I think that this moon has a bit of a different meaning today, because I was really connecting with some native ancestors in my meditation, and really with this very powerful divine masculine energy. I believe it was like sort of the energy of like the Hopi tribe is what it is coming through as, what it felt like. And I really was like feeling what it was like for these masculine in this tribe to be initiated in these rituals, in these with the elders. And again, if it's important because I got here the ancestors card as well, so it's very relevant at this time. It's a very relevant energy, and really once they had some ritual done in terms of some words that were spoken, and some paint that was applied to their face, to their forehead, some plant rituals. The men were kind of sitting around this fire and sweat lodge and all of that kind of stuff, and they were really howling at the moon. They were really connecting with the moon, and it was the moon can be seen as a sign of such illusion and confusion, right? And again, like we've got when you've got the moon and the Seven of Cups in the same reading, that's a whole lot of confusion energy coming through. But what I'm feeling is that, like, by connecting with the ancestors, by connecting with the moon, and I actually had these birds come in when I was opening my meditation before the call. And what I really feel is that by specifically kind of opening up to that wild energy, that primal energy, that primal divine masculine energy, and really connecting with the moon, that's actually going to help to clear up some of this confusion. And it's, in many respects, it's the disconnect of the masculine to the moon, which is traditionally seen as a more feminine, it's seen as the feminine, whereas the sun is seen as the masculine. That really is going to help to clear up a lot of these big, the big bad dogs of fear that are creating all these spheres of all this hostile energy, right? Which is what these what these dogs are representing. Because, they're howling at the moon. So in a way, it's like some sort of like a ritual to release some of this pent up energy from the root chakra, from the lower chakras, in order to like bring it up and release it so that you can step back into your playful innocence. I think that's what it's really about. And this is like the wisdom of your ancestors is coming through to want to tell you this because of their understanding of how masculine energy can get distorted, and how an exercise like that of, pulling up all of that pent up energy from the root chakra up, and releasing it up through the throat and through the crown and just hurling it out at the moon can be really, really helpful for clearing things up. And there's some modern exercises that Joe Dispenza teaches that are similar to that are scientifically proven to work to help release all those energies that get stuck in the human body. Because we don't really have, animals have tails, a lot of the time to release all of their stress. And humans don't really have some sort of we'll just say a body part that naturally helps us to let go of things. And so we actually have to do these sort of exercises to release all the tension and emotional buildup that gets stuck in the body that creates this perpetual ongoing stress. And I think that this whole idea of masculine howling has been totally lost. And when I've only can think of one time where I really saw a guy, do a good primal howl on this side of a it wasn't really a cliff, but it was kind of like a very steep hill, we'll just say, and then tumbling down it. And it was just so beautiful and authentic and necessary and real. And that's, it's beautiful and necessary. And I think that a lot of the distortions of masculine energy around needing control are related to a lack of being able to fully release a lot of this energy and connect in that way. So again, I feel like, so this whole thing about honoring your sensitivity, right? Getting back to this and retreating to recharge and heal, your light can support others. I feel like it really has to do with, and especially Hilarion is also very connected to science, very connected to scientific ways. I just feel, and look, we've also got the Metatron's cube there in his heart, and we've got the Star of David, which is the 2D version of the Metatron's cube inside of the lamp of the Hermit. I feel, and this really feels to me like a gateway, some sort of again, with the two people, right? The two people working together on some sort of a plan, some sort of, knowledge, and again, with the, I don't know where it went, with my Star Children card, the two people on the card, just feels like, I feel like it's sort of a mixed energy. Yes, there's a kind of need to continue to heal from this, this yuck, these hostile energies and this unhealthy sense of security and the old paradigm and the old masculine identity. But also there's some sort of of a moving forward. It could be, with some other person. And that just might be again, with the two in the cup, the children in the cup. It might be that something about that is sort of still somewhat isolated in terms of it not being fully expressed to the whole world. And maybe there's some nurturing kind of going on within that pair. but there's a gateway to it, right? There's a foundation with that person that's being built that's going to recharge. It's really going to recharge so that like you can bring this light forward that we've got here with Sanat Kumara. So from these light activations and all this internal guidance that's coming through. So the last cards that we've got here is we've got Community in reverse with the King of Wands reverse, Rest and Rejuvenation in reverse, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and the Green Woman in reverse. So a lot of reverse. So it's all reverse. So this is like kind of, these are like kind of like the big warnings here. And what I'm seeing, is that especially coming off of this, like there's a need to sort of rest and play. Like we've got this overall energy with the dolphins. Like there's a real need to play right now and to connect with that childlike energy and nurture it. But there's something that's been kind of like blocking. And I think, it has to do with like feeling abandoned somehow by your community. Again, this really takes me back to the Five of Pentacles in reverse. That's on that tower in reverse. And there's something that was like really just a disconnect. People that maybe used to be more like-minded that no longer necessarily of the same mind as you have grown into your spiritual understanding and your awakening. And there's no longer that like sort of equal give and take with those people. This could also have to do with like a work community that like is no longer kind of providing that sustenance. And so like there's this feeling of like disempowerment and like kind of maybe wanting to like push things forward. And again, which is like why, like because of feeling disempowered and wanting to kind of be like the king again. And so like not really allowing for this rest and rejuvenation. But what that's really doing is it's blocking the energy. It's creating a lot of stagnancy. And it could be, again, it gets, this is sort of like the big warning, which is why I think I was called to do this divine masculine, specifically divine masculine reading, was like that all of this goodness, right? This flow can be blocked and missed if you choose not to open to it, masculine. And that would be really a shame because it's all there. It's all there available. But you have to open to it. And there's a need to be strong right now. There's a need to really realize your power, the power that you hold, and to step into your strength. And to like become this fierce lion, this turn this feline into like a fierce lion. And know that your angels are supporting you at this time, and to really meditate and go in and connect, because you're going to get guidance from your ancestors. You're going to get guidance from Sirius and from Spirit and from the dolphins and from the dolphin realms. It's all there if you go in and meditate, and it's going to really help you to heal some of these issues that are holding you back from releasing these cloaks, this egoic cloak, which will allow you to, communicate freely something beautiful with sound, with your words from the heart. I think it's beautiful. So that's my reading. I hope that you send me a lot of love for this reading. If you want to give it a like or if you want to subscribe, please do that below. It would mean a lot to me so that I can bring you lots more of these yummy videos. And I love doing them. I love sharing my unique perspective with the world and shining my light this way. And I wish you all a very good week. I will be back soon with a reading for the Divine Feminine energies for the upcoming week. Sending you lots of love. Namaste.